Continuing from Part 4, we delve back into the Battle of Isla Nena and the conclusion of the dossier disclosure. The conflict between U.S. forces and an unidentified adversary that is suspected in the disappearance of naval assets from Operation Stingray have overwhelmed U.S. naval ground forces at Ensenada Honda, despite significant aerial support from carrier fleet fighters. In response to the dire threat posed by this unidentified adversary, at 2312 hours, 11:12 p.m., Atlantic Fleet Command initiates evacuation protocols of all personnel and critical assets of the Ensenada Honda Naval Base to include additional military installations throughout the island. This decision, endorsed by the Department of War and sanctioned by the President, is designed to clear the island of friendly forces and allowing for a comprehensive aerial bombardment aimed at eliminating any unidentified threats that could lead to an incursion of the United States. At 2400 hours, midnight, following directives from the Secretary of War, and with presidential authorization, all naval resources involved in Operation Tiger Shark, along with a newly dispatched aerial fleet of B-17 and B-24 bombers flying from mainland Puerto Rico, are tasked with eradicating any significant signs of life or unidentified activity in the western and southern portions of Vieques. Presented here is an audio recording provided by the intelligence whistleblower, capturing open-channel combat events during the evacuation of Ensenada Honda. This recording was sourced from numerous open auxiliary communication channels within the base, typically used for base security and special operations protocols, and was one of several audio drives given to the journalist to disclose to the public. As such, its accuracy as a full representation of the actual events cannot be confirmed. The audio has been remastered to remove severe distortion and interference from surrounding munitions fire and artillery. It is important to note that portions of the audio communications have been altered for unknown reasons, but likely for redaction. The audio does not provide a specific time frame of events. However, it's surmised to be assorted radio communications from remaining assets trapped on the island during immolation bombardment.
Air support in the area at this time. Displaced to a more secure location south of K Street and await further instructions. Out. We're pulling out of DC! Pull back from the MSO!
At 12:29 a.m., island immolation began with naval artillery support, and despite hundreds missing and not being accounted for, the bombing continued. At 1:12 a.m., Atlantic Fleet Command receives a Morse code distress signal from the missing carrier vessel dispatched during Operation Stingray. A reconnaissance package comprised of escort vessels from Operation Tiger Shark, including the USS destroyer Corey and an undisclosed number of cruisers, are tasked to investigate and contact the missing carrier fleet. The dossier report then shifts to the morning of January 7, 1944, detailing a log report submitted by the fleet commander of Operation Stingray. According to the report, the commander documented that no combat engagement occurred on December 6th, but rather an uncanny electrical storm suddenly enveloped the fleet, which was on reconnaissance 73 miles northwest of Vieques. This storm led to the shutdown of numerous vital components throughout the escort fleet, prompting protocols for the commander to send out an immediate analog distress signal. The commander also reported that escort vessels observed numerous blue orbs and heavy fog in the vicinity, along with a sudden temperature drop from 79 degrees Fahrenheit to well below 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Additionally, fleet personnel described the sudden appearance of massive icebergs, accompanied by a smell like that of a burning matchstick. The commander noted that a cruiser and 2 PBY Catalina amphibious aircraft went missing during this event, with no evidence of how or where they might have sunk or been compromised. The commander then indicates that as quickly as the storm enveloped the fleet, it dissipated within a handful of minutes with warmer temperatures returning, and simultaneously both the icebergs and winds evaporating into the mist. The commander's log report concludes with the acknowledgement of radio comms by the USS destroyer Corey of Operation Tiger Shark. The dossier report then moves forward to March 21, 1944, with a classified report sent to the Secretary of War by the U.S. Atlantic Fleet Admiral. The report reveals that the commander's vessel Voyage Data Recorder, VDR, tasked with manually recording timestamps and internal data logs, showed only an 11-minute time event from the onset of the distress signal to radio contact by the USS destroyer Corey. This finding is inconsistent with the Department of War's documentation that Operation Stingray, which departed from Ensenada, Honda on December 6th, went missing for 17 days, well beyond the 11-minute time frame data provided by the VDR. The dossier disclosure ends without providing definitive answers to several unresolved questions. Key among these are the outcomes of the bombing raids on Vieques, the causes behind the time displacement incidents involving the USS Eldridge and Operation Stingray, whether Einstein's unified field theory was manifested through potentially flawed scientific experiments, and the fate of over 100 military personnel, including missing naval vessels from Operations Tiger Shark and Stingray. In 2003, a statement by the Department of Defense, addressing accusations about covert and military experiments on the island of Vieques over the past 60 years, fails to provide specific explanations. The statement, issued on January 2003, simply confirms the cessation of military operations in Vieques. On May 1, 2003, the U.S. Navy will cease all operations on the island of Vieques, located east of Puerto Rico. The island will return to Puerto Rico governance and become a natural habitat as we collaborate with the local government to establish educational and wildlife centers on the island of Vieques. End of statement. Following the Navy's departure, 15,000 acres of Vieques land were transferred to the Department of the Interior, which designated it as a wildlife refuge. Nevertheless, the legacy of contamination remains a significant concern, leading the Environmental Protection Agency in 2005 to classify the former bombing range as a threat to life and a no-trespass zone. This designation is reserved for the nation's most critically contaminated areas that require extensive cleanup efforts, leaving the aftermath of the dossier report and the Department of Defense's statement still in question. This summary leaves one final haunting inquiry unanswered. Where did the monsters go?